Hey guys, I'm the Harbinger, and today when I'm recording this, it's about 6 weeks and 18 hours since the Deathbringer was launched. And at the same time, it's also 6 weeks, 17 hours, and 55 minutes since people started asking themselves the question, what is the best way to farm bones? Furtherly, it's even 6 weeks, 17 hours, and 50 minutes since people started asking that question to the internet. Now, here's the deal. The key about the Deathbringer is that currently almost nothing outside the Grimoire is gonna help you make bone grinding better. The main thing that matters is accuracy, survivability, and damage, where accuracy is the stat that is hardest to come by. The only thing outside the Grimoire that has an effect on bone scattering, as far as I can tell, is weapon attack speed. So make sure you craft that Godshard sword before you are doing anything else. Once you know this, then the question becomes which map should you farm at? And it took, I think, less than a day until somebody coined a very simplistic and very easy to understand method to check your best map. And it sounds as follows. Every now and then, do a simple test between relevant maps. Set a timer for 10 minutes and compare the AFK screen's estimated bone gains and just farm the best map it suggests. All in all, I think that this method has a lot going for it. It's very easy to understand what to do, it's very easy to understand why it should work, and all in all, it's gonna give us an easy tool to choose between maps. However, I am a man of science, and let me be clear, I have no intention of throwing shade at the method. I think it's beautiful, simplistic, and effective for its simplicity. I just have a feeling that the 10-minute mark might be chosen a little bit arbitrary, and there might be some needed knowledge to add onto this method here. Therefore, we need to set up a little science experiment to answer some questions I have regarding to this method. The goal of this video is to answer the following question. Is the 10-minute AFK checkup a good method to compare new maps to farm spawns on? To answer that, I want to break it down further into 3 sub-questions. 1. How accurate is the 10-minute AFK method to gauge your early gains? 2. How accurate is the 10-minute AFK method to predict your best map to farm at? 3. If the method is accurate, is 10 minutes necessary or do we need less or more time? To answer these questions, I set up the following experiment. On 3 different maps, record the amount of bones before and after a 1-hour grinding session to find out what the order rate on the map was. Step 2. Go through the recording of each of those grinding sessions and note the estimated hourly rates from the AFK screen every minute. Step 3. Graphs and charts. One of the maps we were looking at was the Gelatinous Cubes map. It was the next map I could farm for the same bones drop after the ones I was currently grinding at. As you can see from the footage here, the estimated amount of bones dropped starts off low and gradually increases over time. At the 10-minute mark, we are at about 17.5 million estimated bones dropped for the hour. However, the longer the run goes, we see a larger and larger increase in this estimated number. In 25 minutes, the estimate is at 19.7 million bones over the hour, and when we graph the data we gathered for each minute over the entire hour, we see that we do not stop increasing the estimate for amounts of bones grinded until we are nearing the 1-hour mark. After the 1 hour was over, we had gathered 21.8 million bones on that map, showing that the estimate from the 10-minute checkup gave us an answer that was about 80% correct to what we were actually gaining over the hour. Next map we check out is the Donuts. It's the highest map of the same drop type I can take out with 100% accuracy. Do not let the multi-kill information fool you. Multi-kill currently has no effect on Deathbringer drops. At the 10-minute mark here we have 31 million estimated bones dropped over the hour, which is a substantial increase over the estimated 17.5 million estimated drops at the 10 minutes for the Cubes map. but it's also a large amount more than we actually got over the hour as well. At this map, the number is thoroughly growing beyond the first 10 minutes as well, but we are flattening out at a much faster rate than at the previous map. We actually peak a little bit around the 30-minute mark and go a little bit down again from there. At the end of the hour, we had gained about 36 million more bones, so at this map, the estimate actually was quite accurate after 30 minutes. The 31 million estimated at the 10-minute mark was 86% accurate, showing that there are differences in the accuracy of the earnings between maps at the 10-minute mark. The final map we are looking at is the Demon Genies. This is the map I have been currently farming at for a while. Here I am at a 91% accuracy, but between the cleaving, the fast attack speed and the active skills, most enemies are dead almost instantly as we are approaching anyway. For me, this map had a really slow start, since when you start a farm on this map, the gravestone is stuck on the lower plateau, causing your character to have to walk long distances to take out hordes. But when the first wave of the skill is done, we are massively increasing our farm rates, and that fast. At the 10-minute mark, we are at 30 million bones estimated. That is 1 million less than on the Donuts map. However, while the Donut map's estimate was starting to plateau around 30 minutes, the Demon Genies are not starting to plateau until around 40 minutes, and with a much steeper curve to that point as well. At the end of the hour, we actually end up with 47.8 million bones, which is 33% more than on the Donut maps. This gain after 1 hour shows that the 10-minute estimate was far off the correct estimate, only showing 63% of the actual 1 hour value. The slow start because of the bad first tombstone placement is really hurting the estimate on this map. Graphing these three results in the same sheet shows that there really can be a huge difference in how long time the bones estimator needs to give an accurate estimate of how many bones you will earn over the hour. It also shows that not letting a test like this run for enough time might give you a false result for what map would be best for you at any given time. For our data here, we see that map 1 and 2 gave us equally good results for the first 3 minutes, then map 1 is pulling ahead for the next few minutes after that, and has 2 tops at 10 and 15 minutes, while after 20 minutes is gone, it's clear that the Demon Genius is the correct map to farm out over a long time. What we see is that maps that have a challenging layout based on your first gravestone placement, but then stable as laser, will have a larger amount of time needed to get their estimate good enough. If we take this graph here, where we are graphing the estimate as a percentage of the factual drops, we see that the 10-minute mark, the Demon Genius has a 63% correct estimate at 10 minutes, while the Donuts have 86% correct estimate at 10 minutes. Long story short, a complete cycle of the graveyard ship takes about 5 minutes to complete, and what this research tells us is that 2 complete cycles is not necessarily enough to get a good estimate of your hourly rates, especially on maps where the farming equilibrium is a different place than where your gravestone starts when you enter the map. Okay, so armed with this new knowledge, let's try to answer the questions we made earlier. The first question is, how accurate is the 10-minute AFK method to gauge our early gains? And based on the data we gathered, it looks like the 10-minute AFK estimate is not a good indication of your hourly gains. If the error has been the same on all map types, it wouldn't have mattered that much. But since there is such a huge discrepancy between some of these maps and how long they take to get a good estimate, we will get the wrong results every now and then, which is what happened on the test where we looked here. So the fact that the Demon Genius map had such a much lower rate of a good estimate at the 10 minutes mark just gave us the result that this map was better than this map, when it turned out in the end that the Demon Genius map was a lot better than the Donuts map over a longer amount of time, and in fact actually gained bones. So that actually answers the second question as well. How accurate is the 10-minute AFK method to predict the best map to farm at? And it turns out it's not that accurate to use this method to guess your best map to farm at. And that kind of makes the question 3 redundant, but let's look at it anyway. And based on the data we gathered, I think letting it run for somewhere between 30 to 40 minutes would give you a good enough estimate to be 90% sure that you are within the correct estimate of what the different kind of map offers. And this will also, running it for this long, will also help you offset maps where the initial tombstone is very good, but the equilibrium is in a bad place, and your character will have to run a lot more when you're not watching, causing your bones per hour to drop significantly after the initial first horde. And with that in the bag, let me come to a conclusion on whether or not the 10-minute AFK method is a good way to estimate your best map to farm at. And my conclusion to that is yes, I think it is a good way to decide which kind of map you should farm for bones with, but it has a caveat. You need to know about the weaknesses in the method to get the proper value out of it. And if you have two maps that are pretty similar in how many bones they can get, run them for a longer time, because if one of the maps have this initial off balance that makes it either be better or worse than it shows after a 10-minute period, you would get to see that much easier if you let it run for a longer time. So but however, if you compare two maps after 10 minutes and one map clearly is twice better at scoring you bones, it's a pretty decent chance that that actually is the better map, and you can just continue to farm that one. But if they are somewhat similar, I'd say between 15% of each other, just run the test for a longer time. You're gonna farm maps for weeks at a time, and taking one more hour just to make sure you got the right map is probably a really good idea to do. And with that, I want to say thank you guys for watching. If you want to support my work, feel free to like the video, comment down below what you want me to research next, and subscribe if you haven't already and you want to tell me that this is the kind of content you enjoy. And the Harbinger, we have been playing IdleOn and we have been doing some science, and yeah, I still think the 10-minute AFK method is a really good way to compare maps. I just think you need to be aware that it has some shortcomings, and yeah, and as long as you know how to deal with that, you can overcome its shortcomings. Thanks for watching, I'm the Harbinger, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.